Palestine.
We will say,
welcome.
What's the protest for?
We're here today. Let's be loud, okay? If they kick us out from down there, so we need to make some noise, okay? We are here today to protest the abomination of a meeting that is happening in this building. Here in the heart of the empire, we echo the calls of Palestinians and our supporters globally. The call are to sanction Israel, save Sheikh Jarrah, save Silwan, end the siege on Gaza, stop the ethnic cleansing of Palestine, free Palestine from the river to the sea.
Right? You don't know how to say sorry?
My name is Miranda. I'm an organizer with the Palestinian Youth Movement. PYM is a transnational, independent, grassroots movement of Palestinian youth struggling for the liberation of our land and all land. And I will be your MC today. A couple of logistical things. This is important. If you are approached by any police officers, please send them to the person wearing the orange vest. Okay. Okay, right there. Black Venda. Also, if you hear us say mic check, please respond mic check. So let's practice. Mic check.
Mic check.
Okay, good. So, just a few expectations for engagement in this rally. We need you all to stick to the chants that are being led by designated chant leaders. Everyone, please keep your mask on if you can. We're still in a pandemic, and if you can't have your mask on for any reason, please try to social distance. And take lead from speakers and marshals in terms of where we're going to be at all times. Don't go off on your own. Marshals are wearing the neon vest. Everyone around here wearing the neon vest. Okay, we're going to do a couple more speeches, and then we're going to get the rally going. So, Biden, Biden, you can't hide.
Biden, Biden, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Bennett, Bennett, you can't hide.
Bennett, Bennett, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Okay, our first speaker today is going to be Raya from the Palestinian Youth Movement. Make some noise for Raya. Woo! Hi everyone, my name is Raya. I'm with the Palestinian Youth Movement. We're an organization of Palestinian and Arab youth across North America with over 15 chapters. Many of you have met us through the actions of the past 4 months. Over the course of this summer, we've witnessed and been a part of what so many of us have dreamt of happening since we were children. The rise of a new generation of resistance. The rise of an intifada. Our people have dared to do what the powers in this house try to make impossible. We rise today in echoes of our people across the world. We will liberate and we will return.
Woo!
Biden and Bennett came today to solidify ties, to build with each other and continue to treat Palestine and our people as if they are no more. We know that what this meeting is about. It is the crystallization of two settler leaders. It is further proof, as if more is needed, that the peace process has always and will continue to be a sham. It is evident that we as Palestinians were never meant to have a say in our future, but instead are expected to take some sort of deal handed to us from above.
Yeah.
When we resist as a people, Biden's response is to invite our oppressor into his home.
Boo!
He claims progressive values, but what is progressive about genocide? After the Zionist regime dropped bombs on Gaza for 11 days straight, Biden sent an extra $735 million in weapons from Boeing to the Zionist regime.
Boo!
We promise that we will see an end to these institutions. We will see the downfall of Zionism, imperialism, capitalism. This is a promise to our ancestors, our siblings, our children. We're not asking for the U.S. to intervene. What we demand is for the U.S. to draw all forms of military and diplomatic funding and support and sanction the Zionist settler colony of Israel. This summer, we watched online as our friends were forced to defend their homes day in and day out in Sheikh Jarrah. We watched as our protesters were tear gassed and shot at as they defended our holy sites. We watched as our cousins rose up in the streets, whether it be in Amman, in Beirut, in Tunis, in Ramallah. We listened to the who died under mysterious circumstances, and saw her mother's pain on public display from Israeli prison as she longed to be at her daughter's funeral to bid her farewell one last time. We've waited over a year for Ahmed Arakat's body to return to his family. We watched as our comrades like Murad Atiyah, the sole breadwinner for his family, were imprisoned for weeks now with no charge. We've cried as we've heard our families being bombed, as we read the names of each child, each mother, each father, and each martyr that has been killed by the ruthless Zionist regime. We uplift their names. Each person has made a sacrifice in the struggle for liberation. And we protest here today because each of these wounds is not in vain. Each of these wounds is another reason to keep fighting. They are reminders of what we've lost and everything we have to gain. We thank you all for coming here today. Despite 4 months of showing up in the streets, our energy does not wane. Even with the insult of this meeting, we will not let them continue business as usual. If they're going to pressure families to leave their homes or make arms deals, to continue testing their weapons on our people, we will not be silent. We will not leave, we will remain. We will liberate, we will return from the river to the sea. From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Long live the Intifada!
Long live the Intifada.
Intifada, Intifada!
Intifada, Intifada.
Long live the Intifada!
Long live the Intifada.
Intifada, Intifada!
Intifada, Intifada.
Okay, next up we have Dr. Osama from Americans for Justice in Palestine Action.
Woo!
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Why are we here?
Justice.
Justice? Let us say that we're here to condemn this visit by this war criminal, the new Israeli Prime Minister, Bennett. You know, they're trying to portray him now as a man of peace, as a renewed opportunity to peace and stability in the Middle East. But this man is no less racist, no less hawkish, no less war criminal, no less extremist than his predecessor, Benjamin Netanyahu. This White House is attempting to whitewash his records, and they're attempting to whitewash his government's record. As I said, this is a government that as extreme as any Israeli government ever has been. Nothing new here. The same military occupation, the same structured racism, the same apartheid, the same killing of people, and the same blockade on over 2 million people in the Gaza Strip. Israel is the real danger to stability and peace in the Middle East. We know this. This is a man who's not coming with a message of peace. He's coming as a warmonger. He's calling for a war with Iran. He wants a new war against the Gaza Strip. He's not here with a proposal to give the Palestinians their rights. He's not here to apologize for what his predecessor has done. He's not here to allow the Palestinians to have the right of independence, to have the right of freedom, to have the right of living as human beings, dignified, and to live on their own land in peace. He's not bringing none of the above. He's coming to further cement, to claim that Israel is exceptional when it comes to its right to abuse human rights, when it comes to its right to confiscate people's lands, when it comes to its right to inflict damage and to inflict death on people. That's why he's here. That's why he's here. And we should reject this notion that Israel is exceptional. We should reject this notion that Israel has the right in the name of Judaism, a religion that they desecrated, a religion that they hijacked, to practice apartheid against the other people. We have a president who came into office promising us to center human rights and to quote unquote restore America's moral authority. What moral authority that America can preach to the world? What moral authority America is sending to the world or expressing to the world? Standing by a criminal regime like this regime. That's not a moral authority. This president has been asserting time and time again that America is back. Yes, under his leadership, America is back to the same complicity. Under his leadership, America is back to support and to empower occupation and aggression against the Palestinian people. Under his leadership, America is back to be on the wrong path. So America is back, but back in doing everything wrong. Everything that he promised us that he will do otherwise. But as many people are fooled by Bennett as the antidote of Netanyahu, many people were fooled by Biden as the antidote of Trump. And we should not embrace this, and we should not legitimize it, and we should not accept it. So we're here calling on this administration that Israel doesn't need more weaponry. Israel doesn't need more security guarantees. Israel doesn't need more military aid. Israel doesn't need more diplomatic and political cover. What Israel needs is to understand that it is imperative that it has to respect all the international norms, to respect human rights, to respect human dignity, and to dismantle the apartheid regime that it is imposing in Palestine, in the occupied land of Palestine. This is what Israel needs to hear from us. If Mr. Biden is truthful about his moral authority, that's what he should be telling this Prime Minister. No more wars, no more war crimes, no more home demolitions, no more destroying people's lives, no more dehumanizing the Palestinians, and no more acting as if you are above the level of average human beings. You are not. We are all created equal. No one is less, no one is more. We should reject this notion. As we reject white supremacy in this country, as we reject any sort of supremacy, being an Islamic supremacy, being a Jewish supremacy, being a Hindu supremacy, whatever sort of supremacy, we reject. And Jewish supremacy is as rejected, as condemned as any form of supremacy. But we know that the Jewish people are not guilty. We know that the Jewish people are not guilty of this crime. It is a religion that is being hijacked. It is as Islam is being hijacked by ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Israel is hijacking Judaism. And I'm not going to shy away from saying this. And I'm not going to be in this business of political correctness. Oh my God, he compared Israel to ISIS. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did compare Israel to ISIS. Because you're using religion, you're desecrating religion to abuse human rights and to kill human beings in the name of a God that is innocent and that does not condone what you do in his name. So we should stand firm here, and we should make our voices heard, that we will continue to fight for justice in Palestine from all walks of life, from all backgrounds. It doesn't matter. We see Jewish, we see Christian, we see Muslims, we see white, we see blacks, we see people from all walks of life are coming together with one voice, that we oppose what our government is doing in relation to empowering the occupation in Palestine, in relation to giving a political and diplomatic cover to an apartheid state that is called Israel. The Israeli government is no different than those who breached our Capitol Hill. They're no different than the white supremacists who took into the streets, claiming that this country belongs to them. God did not assign land to any single specific race. God gave land to all of those who He created. We are equal and we reject any racist ideology, as Zionism is a racist ideology. And thank you.
Thank you. Can we make some noise for Dr. Osama? Palestine is not for sale.
Palestine is not for sale.
We won't give up. We will not fail.
We won't give up. We will not fail.
Palestine is not for sale.
Palestine is not for
We
sale.
won't give up. We will not fail.
We won't give up. We will not fail.
Thank you. Okay, we are going to bring Kareem up from the Democratic Socialists of America.
Hey, thank you very much. And can we get one more round of applause for the last speaker? I always love what he has to say about moral authority. All right. Hi, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Kareem. I am a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. I'm an Egyptian American, and I'm here today to stand in solidarity and to represent our organization standing in solidarity with Palestine. This is a issue that has been very close to me, being an Egyptian American. From the time I was just a kid, I've been participating in boycotts with my family since, I can remember, probably 8 years old. It used to be a really lonely fight. I remember it being, majority Arab, majority Muslim, and I don't feel lonely anymore. If you look around at this crowd, there's a good cross-section of diversity here. It's not just Arabs, it's not just Muslims, it's everybody who stands for justice coming out here to say, we're not going to take this anymore, we're not going to take an illegal occupation, and we're going to call out Naftali Bennett when he comes to DC. So I want to talk for a second about what we're up against here. I'm sure, as all of you know, Naftali Bennett is a really evil guy. His famous quote is, "I have killed a lot of Arabs in my day, and there's nothing wrong with that," right? Disgusting and despicable, but no different than what Palestine has faced for almost a century now, right? Where, you have people ordering the breaking of bones of children and then coming and saying that they're brokers of peace when they come and meet in the United States. Naftali Bennett is an evil, evil man, but you know what the difference is between him and all of his predecessors? He's honest about it. He comes forward and says, I killed Arabs, and that is a good thing. And that's why we need to stand here and say, it's not just, Israel that is complicit in these crimes. We, of course, lay the blame at their feet. But we lay the blame at the feet of Joe Biden, at the feet of the U.S. Congress, and every other American politician who enables this. They're sponsors. This isn't just confined within Israel's borders. We are a state sponsor of anti-Palestinian terrorism. And I'm really moved and frankly very emotional to see this many people come out on a Thursday morning during work and show support for this. But as it is not confined within our own borders, we need to understand that this struggle, we are actively in solidarity, not just in, our rhetoric, but in our actions. Metro DC Police has an exchange program known as the Deadly Exchange with Israeli law enforcement officers, right? 2 nights ago, 2 black men were shot by Metro DC Police. Where do you think they learn these occupation tactics? The police see themselves as an occupying force in DC, and they come and treat us the same way after learning the same tactics from Israeli law enforcement. We have to stand here and say, defund the police, Black Lives Matter, and from Palestine to DC, we're going to end the occupation. I apologize, I don't have much more to say, but thank you very, very much for being here, everyone. Solidarity from all my comrades from DC that are, Metro DC DSA that are here. Thank you for all the groups that are here, and down with the Israeli occupation.
Thank you so much, Kareem. They got tanks, we got rocks.
They got tanks, we got rocks.
We won't back down in Sheikh Jarrah.
We won't back down in Sheikh Jarrah.
have Lisbeth from Jewish Voice for Peace Action.
De Santiago a Palestina, we'll be free, we'll be free. My fellow protesters, troublemakers, justice seekers, I speak today from Jewish Voice for Peace. This is not what the Jewish people want. This abomination of a representation that will speak so candidly about murder and occupation is unacceptable. It should be unwelcome on a building that was built on the backs, with the hands, and with the death of people that were trafficking for labor, on whose back the wealth of this country was built. Wealth that is being used to create and to sustain the apartheid system that is the Israeli government. Don't think these are issues unrelated to one another. As a child of colony, as a Boricua, as a Puerto Riqueña, I know colony, I know apartheid. This is unacceptable. We walk hand in hand every day to stop the exchange of forces that teaches one another how to kill. We reject the notion that those people sitting up the street in that thing that is called the Hill will have the nerve to use money to pay for oppression, to pay for murder, to pay for the experimentation on our people, to pay for the experimentation on our land, and to give organizations in tax-free status so that they can leave this country and go occupy another, just like they have here for years and years, 500 years. Our indigenous and black colleagues know this from being trafficked to the genocide of indigenous peoples. It is the same. Don't excuse yourself. Don't think this is not our fight. It is our fight every day. It is important we recognize the difference between the State of Israel and the Jewish people. Again, the State of Israel does not represent us. I can't imagine what my ancestors had to go through to travel from lands in the Middle East to occupying lands here by force so that they could survive, to witness the same thing happening over and over and over again. This is not a different oppression. This Prime Minister is the same, as other speakers have said, as a long line of oppressors, of enablers. And President Biden should know better than to call this an effort of human rights. This is human crimes, not rights. The money spent in the occupation of Palestine is a human crime. If you want to defend the rights of people, the rights of humans, then stop funding the State of Israel. Let us all live the lives that we're meant to be. In our lands, in our homes, with our family, without fear, with a roof over our heads, with a land to cultivate, and the freedom of movement that is afforded to all. Again, I am Lisbeth from Jewish Voice for Peace. Free Palestine, de San Juan a Gaza. Libertad, libertad, libertad. Thank you.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Let's really scream this one. We have one more speaker. Let's really hear it. From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Okay, finally, our last speaker, we had Awad Director of the Council on American Islamic Relations. So please make some noise.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Who we are? We are Muslims, Christians, Jews, people of faith and people of no faith, people from different backgrounds standing here in front of the White House to make a simple statement about a new visitor to the White House today. To make it simple, let me remind you, most of the attention today is focused on Afghanistan, on Taliban. What would Taliban do if it forms a government? Why am I bringing this example? Imagine if Taliban forms the government, continues to do what it was doing to the people of Afghanistan before they were defeated in 2001. And they became national and international leaders. And if the President of the United States, President Joe Biden, decides to host in the White House the leader of Taliban, what would be the reaction of the US media? What would be the reaction from the public? What would be the reaction of politicians by the fact that Joe Biden will be hosting the leader of Taliban? People will be up and roar. Today, it's no different. President Joe Biden is hosting the leader of the Israeli Taliban. Joe Biden is hosting the leader of a settler colonial movement in Israel. Joe Biden today is hosting the representative of a settler that's called Jacob. Jacob, if I remind you, is the same person who told Muna al-Kurd in Sheikh Jarrah that if I don't steal your house, someone else will steal it. Naftali Bennett, who's visiting the White House, is the spokesman for Jacob and hundreds of thousands of Israeli settlers in Palestinian homes. What would be the reaction of politicians who believe that human rights should be elevated? And I remind President Joe Biden today that he is breaking his promise to us and to the world, that he will honor and promote and defend human rights. Human rights will be on the top of his agenda. Today, that promise is out the door. That promise is under our feet. That promise is something of history. And that is shameful from the White House, from the leader who got the votes of Muslims, Christians and Jews and people of faith and no faith who believe in progressive values, who believe that justice is indivisible and justice for people here is no less than justice for people in Palestine. Joe Biden is breaking his promise to protect human rights of the Palestinian people. By welcoming Naftali Bennett today, he's sending a message to the world that Israel is an exception. Israel can abuse human rights because it has an agency on Capitol Hill that pours money in the buckets of candidates and Congress people. And that's what matters. What matters is not that people are being killed and maimed and bombed and their houses are being destroyed on their heads by US-made weapons supplied to Israel. That doesn't matter. What matters is there's money pouring in the buckets of people like Joe Biden to become candidates and to maintain the status quo. And that is a shame. Shame on all of us to allow the status quo to continue. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to realize that pouring money into an occupation is similar to pouring money into an Afghanistan. We have spent $2 trillion on 2 wars in Iraq and in Afghanistan. 20 years later, we said, what did we do? We turned countries upside down, and we had a shameful exit. We have been doing the same thing to the Palestinians for 70 years and creating despair, refugees, and tragedies for families, including my family. I am a Palestinian. I am a refugee. I was born and raised in a refugee camp after my family was forced out in 1948 by the Israeli forces. And I'm gonna stand here every time I can to push against justifying the oppression and supplying Israel with protection the way this administration and previous administrations did. We're not going to go away. We're not going to be silent. One generation after another, we will not forget. And we have to hold our administrations and our politicians accountable. And let me just finally say this. A message to progressives in the United States. You are not a true progressive unless you defend the rights of the Palestinians. Unless you hold this administration and every Israeli apologist accountable. You are not progressive if you only care about human rights in the United States but turn a blind eye to what Israel is doing in our name with our weapons to the Palestinian people. You are not progressive if you vote for human rights in other countries except in Palestine. You are not progressive if you pay attention to every entity on earth except to the Israelis. Why? Because Israel is pouring money and their representatives and apologists are filling the pockets of you to replenish your campaigns and succeed in your political aims. That is something that needs to change in the United States. It is up to you and up to me. We will not give up. We should hold our elected officials accountable to make sure that justice is indivisible and the human rights of the Palestinians are no less important than the human rights of the Israelis, of the Americans, of every other nation on earth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Okay, everybody, we are going to march. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you so much for being here in solidarity. Thank you for making our voices heard. We are going to start walking. Just a few things to keep in mind. Do not engage with the police. We have one person here that is going to engage with the police. She's right there. If a cop comes up to talk to you, please send them her way. Please follow the marshals that are wearing the yellow vests. Don't go outside of the peripheral that they're creating. Let's stay together. Let's walk slowly. Let's make some noise, okay? Follow the mural right there, and we're going to start on our way.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Long live Palestine! Long live Palestine!
Okay, I know there's not many of us, right? But each of your voices is really strong, okay? So, be as loud as me. Try. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
tax dollars and murder. The U.S. pays for a legal border. The U.S. pays for a legal border. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Save, save, Sheikh Jarrah. Save, save, Sheikh Jarrah. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Justice is our demand. Justice is our demand. No peace on stolen land. No peace on stolen land. Justice is our demand. Justice is our demand. No peace on stolen land. No peace on stolen land. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. Bennett, Bennett, you can't hide. Bennett, Bennett, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. We charge you with genocide. They got tanks. We got rocks. They got tanks. We've got rocks. We won't back down and Sheikh Jarrah. We won't back down and Sheikh Jarrah. They got tanks and we've got rocks. They got tanks and we've got rocks. We won't back down and Sheikh Jarrah. We won't back down and Sheikh Jarrah. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Long live Palestine. Long live Palestine. From Ferguson to Palestine. From Ferguson to Palestine. Occupation is a crime. Occupation is a crime. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Long live Palestine. Long live Palestine. What do you want? Justice. You can stay home. Freedom, justice, Sharia. What do you want? Freedom. When do you want it? Now. When do you want it? Now. What do you want? Justice. And when do you want it? Now. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Long live Palestine. Long live Palestine. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more. Occupation no more. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stop the killing. Stop the hate. Stop the killing. Stop the hate. Freedom, freedom is our fate. Freedom, freedom is our fate. What do you want? Justice. When do you want it? Now. What do you want? Justice. When do you want it? Now. There is only one solution. There is only one solution. Revolution, revolution. Revolution, revolution. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. What? The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Let's say it louder, louder, and louder. Will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Intifada, intifada. Intifada, intifada. Long live the intifada. Long live the intifada. Intifada, intifada. Intifada, intifada. Long live the intifada. Long live the intifada. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Long live Palestine. Long live Palestine. Long live Palestine. Long live Palestine. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more. Occupation no more. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5,
is our fate. Freedom, freedom is our fate. What do you want? Justice. When do you want it? Now. What do you want? Justice. When do you want it? Now. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Long live Palestine. Long live Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Long live Palestine. Long live Palestine. They've got tanks. We've got rocks. They've got tanks. We've got rocks. We won't back down and shift the rock. We won't back down and shift the rock. They've got tanks. We've got rocks. They've got tanks. We've got rocks. We won't back down and shift the rock. We won't back down and shift the rock. Free, free, let's stop. Free, free, let's stop. Save, save, let's stop. Save, save, let's stop. There is only one solution. There is only one solution. Revolution, 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 revolution. Intifada, 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 intifada. Long live the intifada. Long live the intifada. The people united will never be defeated. 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 What do we want? Freedom! What do we want? Freedom! When do we want it? Now! Say it again. When do we want it? Now! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Biden, Biden, you can't hide! Biden, Biden, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! We charge you with genocide! Bennett, Bennett, you can't hide! Bennett, Bennett, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! We charge you with genocide! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Intifada, intifada! Intifada, intifada! Long live the intifada! Long live the intifada! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Save, save Palestine! Save, save Palestine! Save, save, save Palestine! Save, save, save Palestine! What do you want? Justice! I can't hear you. What do you want? Justice! What do you want? Now! When do you want it? Now! When do you want it? Now! You guys want it 10 years from now? No! So when do you want it? Now! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Long live Palestine! Long live Palestine! From DC to Palestine! From DC to Palestine! Occupation is a crime! Occupation is a crime! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! There is only one solution! There is only one solution! Revolution, 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 revolution! حرية 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 فلسطين عربية فلسطين عربية حرية 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 فلسطين حرية فلسطين حرية 1, 2, 3, 4 1, 2, 3, 4 Occupation out the door Occupation out the door 5, 6, 7, 8 5, 6, 7, 8 Stop the killing, stop the hate 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 Does anybody want water? Yes, there are people who want water. So we will be bringing you guys water, just like have your hands out for some water. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Long live Palestine! 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Freedom, freedom is our fate. Freedom, freedom is our fate. Resistance is justified. Resistance is justified. When the people are occupied. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. Intifada, intifada. Intifada, intifada. Long live the intifada. Long live the intifada. All right, so this is a new one. It's going to be while you're shopping, bombs are dropping. 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 Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Save, save Sheikh Jarrah. Save, save Sheikh Jarrah.
Innocent souls. I don't even want to say innocent. These are just Palestinians. Usama Khalid Daji.
Usama Khalid Daji.
32. Imad Hashash. 50. أمجد إياد عزمي حسينية. رائد زياد عبد اللطيف أبو سيف. نور عبد الله جرار. صالح أحمد محمود عمار 19. ضياء الدين محمد سبريني 25. عماد علي دويقات 37. شوقات خالد عواد 20. محمد مؤيد العالمي 11. شاتي عمر سالم شرافة 41. يوسف نواف مهارب 17. محمد منير تميمي 17. محمد فارد حسن 21. عبدو يوسف تميمي 43. أحمد زاهي شمسة 16. مي عفانة 29. ابتسام خالد كعبانة 28. عبيد السيف تهدوه 9. جميل محمود العموري 24. تيسير محمود عثمان ياسة 33. أدهم ياسر توفيق علويوي 23. ديانة زياد أبو العوف الياسجي. يحيى باسم العجلة 24. فادي صادق موسى وشة 34. أسامة أشرف أبو ريدة 23. منتصر محمود زيدان جوبارة 28. يوسف محمد عابد القادر أبو حسين 33. عمر محمد أمين المنكوش 20. محمد محمود كيوان 17. ديما سعد علي عسلية 10. ايسار عبد الرحيم طه الحلبي 48. اياد عبد الفتاح صلحة 35. اماني يوسف محاوش صلحة 29. نغام اياد عبد الفتاح صلحة 2. بداية فخرية القدرة 32.